YouTube? Welcome to the channel. I'm Chris. Happy New Comic Book Day. It is another new comic book day, the 2nd of 2026. Got some big books today. Ultimates number 20 is at the top of my list, which is insane because it feels like just 2 weeks ago we got Ultimate Endgame number 1, and then we also got the Ultimates 19, but I'm not complaining because I love that book. DCKO number 3 is out today. I'm not going to get it physically unless I see a cover I really like, because the reality is if you have DC Infinite in the Ultra tier, it is available day 1 in the app. So I got to read that probably on the train. Geiger number 20, I believe, is out. I do have a pull list at Everyone Comics that pulls Geiger, but I think I'm going to get this issue at Midtown Comics just to read it early, because the Northerner is crossing over with Geiger for the first time, and there's a new storyline, so I definitely want to get back on the Geiger train. And there's a few other things like Mega Man Legends, that book, which has been highly anticipated, that comes out today. And there's a few other things, but it's going to be cool to go out in the city. I don't think it's not as cold as it's been, so that's going to be pretty cool. And then I'm going to see if I could maybe, check out some manga, some cards, some other things, but come along with me as we go to Midtown Comics Times Square. My comic book recommendation of the day is DCKO Night Fight. This book is only 3 issues in, and it sucks that it's a miniseries because I think it's the best thing to come out of DCKO. With events, I am sort of at the point where events have to prove me wrong. So DCKO, as exciting as sort of this new status quo that we're going to get after DCKO, which is DC Next Level, is, to be honest, I've read the first 2 issues of DCKO. I don't really know what's going on. But some of these tie-in things, like Night Fight, have been fantastic. Joshua Williamson has been writing this with Dan Mora on art. And as a Bat Family fan, this is probably the book you have to be reading. You've got new iterations of Dick Grayson as Batman. You also have Jason Todd as Batman, and then now Tim Drake. The following issue that's coming out, number 4, is going to be pretty big with a reveal of Batman's grandson, Alfred, which is going to be really cool. And honestly, it's just... look at all this Dan Mora goodness. He's just so good, and it's insane that, he does this on a monthly basis. Like, he's drawing multiple books, and I just love it. It's a fun book. It's exactly what an event should be like. I think part of the reason I've been disappointed with DCKO is that I kind of expected more like a tournament arc. I feel like they tell you, hey, these big fights are happening, but in the main book, it doesn't feel that way. At least, like, I like Javi Fernandez's art, but I don't know. I feel like it's not like, it's a lot more sort of setting up the world and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I just wanted an all-out brawl. And some of that is happening, again, in the pages of the tie-ins. And Night Fight is a great sort of reflection of who Batman is through his Robins. And like I said, as a fan of the Bat Family, Robins, as you can see behind me, have plenty of Nightwing merch. But this book has been fantastic. It's exactly what a tie-in book should be when it comes to events, where it stands on its own, like it's independent. If you're not reading DCKO, you could just pick up this book, but also it's fun, like that's what comics should be. They should be bombastic and all that. And Dan Mora really doesn't take any days off. Like, you're like, oh, like maybe, because this is a tie-in book, it's not like his main job like Transformers or anything like that, he'll take a break, but he gave us like all-time designs for some of these characters, and it's definitely going to be panels people go back to for years to come. So DCKO Night Fight, pick it up now. So on today's new comic book day, I actually got to go a little bit early before my son got home from school, so I had a little bit more freedom to kind of look around and spend more time going through back issues and some of the new comics. And what's dope about New York City, as big of a city as it is very small. You're always going to run into someone you may know. And while I was going through back issues, filming my vlog, I ran into someone really special to me and really special to the comic book community, and that is DJ Lynx. So what's your pick of the week?
My pick of the week is Geiger number 20. It's the first time that the Northerner, I know there was a cameo in issue number 19, but it's the first time the Northerner and Geiger interact, and Ghost Machine, I'm all over it. Anything Ghost Machine, Geiger, Redcoat, High Street. I just love Ghost Machine stuff.
And that was the first full appearance of DJ Lynx on my vlog. That was awesome. Love that dude. Can't wait to see him at New York Comic Con, hopefully later in the year. Maybe we have another collab coming up in the vlog and his channel, so stay tuned on that. Dude, these Gamerverse figures that Hasbro has been putting out through Marvel Legends are amazing. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom is why I'm a War Machine fan, and that figure is so dope. And they also have this Dan Mora Batman that I need to get. So after hanging out with DJ Lynx for a little bit, I headed back downstairs to actually do what I came for, which is check out some comic books. Again, it wasn't a huge week in terms of books that I was pulling or anticipating, but what I love about Midtown Comics is that they have so much on the wall that, like, even when you don't really anticipate spending too much money or checking out certain books, when you're there and you see some of these covers or you see some indie book that you may have not heard of, you're kind of like willing to take a chance on it because you're like, oh, I didn't see this on League of Comic Geeks, or maybe this didn't look as cool as I thought it would be, so let me try it out. And that is really the appeal of this Times Square location because it has so much, and that's why I don't really have a pull list here, because I like kind of coming in and just shopping around. And if you miss something, they're always going to have it the following week. This Death of Superman Tombstone edition is insane. So after spending a couple more minutes shopping around, looking at some older stuff, some omnibus, I decided to go to Books Kinokuniya, which is where I get all of my manga and is my favorite manga spot in the city. And they're really fun. But after fighting the urge to buy more Smiskis, I decided to try out this new manga that they're promoting, which is called Love Bullet. I have no clue what it's about, but it looked dope, so I'm gonna try it. After looking around a bit, I was really hungry, so I decided to go to Raising Cane's in Times Square, which is part Raising Cane's, part club. For my final stop, I went to the Tamanashi Nation store, which is one of the few in the country, I believe. It's a cool store because it has a lot of these Japanese import figures. I went there because I specifically wanted to look at this Cyclops, which is insane. They don't have it in stock, which was disappointing, but I love looking around the store because it has a bunch of figures that I've kind of always wanted to get into. They are quite expensive, but I think I'm going to eventually pull the trigger, and that Cyclops is going to be my first figure. I'm back. Got some comic books and some manga. So it was really fun new comic book day, mainly because I got to see DJ Lynx, who, if you don't know, is one of the coolest comic book YouTubers in the world, particularly in New York City. He runs alongside Rob Fatstacks and Mark from Legion of Comics, Comics Curing Cancer. They've raised, I think, probably close to or already over $100,000 for the American Cancer Society and do a lot of great work. So subscribe to DJ Lynx. He's awesome. This channel and a lot of my previous work would not exist if it wasn't for DJ Lynx. When I was watching his stuff during the pandemic, definitely was inspiring. So it's so cool to kind of have him as a friend, a peer, and also someone that is pretty close, where I get to see him occasionally on New Comic Book Day. But let's go through the books. Ultimates number 20, which is the book I was most excited about. Awesome. I think something that is happening with these later Ultimate Universe books is that even though I really like this issue, you could kind of sense that some of the storylines are being rushed through. It is revealed who the Ultimate Vision is, and it was set up earlier in the series. And I feel like their relationship with Nick Fury in this, because as you can see, Nick Fury is also spotlighted as well, is really cool and interesting, but I feel like it could have been definitely extended over a 2-issue arc or something like that. But because the Ultimate Universe is coming to an end in a couple months, the Ultimates is ending with Ultimate issue 24. We're on issue 20. They kind of have to wrap up a lot of loose ends, which sucks for the reader, but I still think this is a really strong, solid issue. And then some other stuff we got here. That one was quickly available because I read that on the train. Geiger number 20, which was DJ Lynx's pick of the week. Awesome. Gary Frank. It's insane, like, the quality of art that you're getting in all these Ghost Machine books. You have Gary Frank on this one, Brian Hitch on Redcoat, Jason Fabak on Rook. You got Peter Snaisberg on Hornsby and Halo, Ivan Rice on Hyde Street. who am I? Francis Manipul on Rockefeller's, like literally top tier art in the interiors, stuff that you're not getting at the big two at Ghost Machine. That was a really great issue and a really great jumping on point. It catches you up on everything that's happened on Geiger from the first volume to the second volume, and also introduces a character that has been introduced in the Ghost Machine universe, in this the Unknown universe, the Northerner. But like I said, it catches you up on all of that from the first couple pages. So if you haven't been up on Geiger, Geiger number 20 is a great jumping on point. Absolute Superman number 15. This is from last week. I wasn't able to pick this up, and I got it. It's awesome. Great jumping on point as well. We got a new artist, Juan Ferreira. Also, it looks like we're finally getting a little bit of Absolute Lex Luthor. It's teased towards the end. He appeared in the Absolute Evil special, which was cool. And then I have Mega Man Legends, which is the only thing I did not read on the train. Udon, which is I think a newer publisher, they have been producing a lot of this Capcom stuff. They have like Street Fighter books. They had a Deathstalkers Street Fighter crossover and stuff like that. I growing up, X-Men Mega Man Legends was like the coolest game to me. I could never play it because I kind of like I was too young and I sucked at like the controls and stuff like that. But I always thought like the design of Mega Man in this series, where he had the suit but he didn't have the helmet on, was the coolest thing ever. And I thought that that cover, that PlayStation 1 cover, was the coolest thing in the world to me. And I thought it'd be cool. In terms of like the quality, it's $4.99. You're getting like cardstock. Again, that's something I really appreciate when a publisher is able to do that. And then lastly, what I got was Love Bullet, a manga that I'd never heard of, but I went to Books Kinokuniya. They're like my favorite and probably the best manga spot in the city. And they were promoting this, and it just looked cool. It looked like Cupid with guns, and that's the thing about manga. I'm willing to kind of take a chance on things because it's like, well, this is only like $10, and then it came with like a special like card thing. Books Kinokuniya, best. I'm gonna try this out. Hopefully, it's really good. But yeah, overall really cool. Then I got to go to the Tamanashi Nation store to kind of check out some things, because they had the physical Cyclops figure there that they're coming out with soon, and I wanted to see it in person. I think I need to buy it. It looks really good. But yeah, also DCKO. I've read issue number 3. And it's the first one where I actually really dug it. Like the tag team aspect of it, the fights were really cool. I feel like it really took it to another level. And then it teases what's coming in the next issue, where we got sort of the final four are going into Darkseid's Earth, where the champions of that Earth are the Absolute Trinity. So Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Batman, and Absolute Superman. So we finally get to see the Absolute Trinity versus the main line. Well, Batman's not. He got kicked out of KO early on, but we're gonna see them go up at least against Superman and Wonder Woman. And I have to say, when it comes to the Joker, it's really annoying that he's kind of like slither his way to this. You kind of saw it coming like early on. I was like, oh man, they're gonna and at this point, like DC is gonna put him in anything. So you're like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's like the last man standing at the end of DC KO. But this is the issue, KO number 3, that actually has got me a little more excited about the next, I think it's 5 or 6 issues, the mainline DC KO. And this is the first one where I felt like it took like full advantage of the premise. You had tag teams, you had people switching power. Like, it was really cool. I really dug it. So really love that. Again, solid week. Not too much on the Marvel side. As I'm talking about this, I realized I forgot to get Aquaman number 13. Need to catch up on that. But overall, a fun new comic book day. Great to see DJ Links. Great to get some manga, some food. But yeah, what did you guys think? What did you guys pick up on new comic book day? Let me know. And if you liked the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.